Here we are. We are here live once again. This is November 28th, 2018. And if you can't guess yet, we are going each and every Wednesday as long as we're doing it this way. As long as everybody's joining, we're doing Wild Card Wednesdays. And here's another edition of Wild Card Wednesday. And again, if you've never seen or heard of Wild Card Wednesday, the concept is very easy to understand. It's a wild card. Bring whatever you want. So that is exactly what we're doing today. We are being joined by, there he is, Gary Owens, looking like he's from the 80s with that grainy film going down.
It's my webcam. I don't know what's going on. I'm checking all the connections.
Looks like a VHS tape. And then we got John Anile from the great state of Georgia. We got, once again, Omaroff from Brooklyn, New York.
Good evening, everybody.
Jay Terrio from Louisiana Beer Reviews on YouTube.
Also,
hello, everybody. On YouTube as well. And
hello, everybody. We are the Beer Coalition Chat and the International Beer Review Guild.
Here on YouTube. And I am, as you all know, Thomas Mel 75. And again, this is your Massachusetts Beer Review. So, without further ado, I guess we'll just go right down the line. Let's start with Gary Owens. Just let us know, everybody, just quickly let us know which beer you have brought for a Wildcard Wednesday. Gary Owens.
Sam Adams, New England IPA. Got this at a single, 12-ounce single as part of a Clear and Six-Pack Food Thing. This is going to be the first one I'm going to do. Once I finish this, if we still have time, I'm going to do the other one I had picked out, the Studio Brewed Mosaic IPA. So this will be the first one.
Excellent. John Anile from Georgia, which beer have you decided to bring this evening?
All right. I've got one I've never had before. I'm going to look at the Samuel Adams Winter Lager.
Good choice.
Okay. Excellent. Cool. We will be looking forward to that. Let's see. Let's go to our correspondent live in Brooklyn, New York. Michael Komaroff, always interesting craft beer options. Which beer do you have this evening?
I have brought Sierra Nevada Winter Warmer Lager.
Excellent.
All right.
Nice. Bunch of winter warmers.
Cool. Jay Terrio, which beer have you chosen this evening?
Okay, first, John Neely, I think I will be able to get a single of one of the Samuel Adams winter beers, okay?
Great. Yeah, I can get them all. I'm going to try them all. Thankfully, I can get singles of all of them, so I won't have to buy a 12-pack and get two of the Sam 76s that I don't want.
I was going to buy one today, but I forgot. I have 8.1% alcohol, Hurricane High Gravity.
A good winter warmer right there.
So warm. Yep. Introduced in 2005. There's James P. Madonna from New Jersey showing up.
P. Madonna, New Jersey.
Hey, James.
Hi, James.
Hello there. Greetings, everyone.
Which beer have you decided to bring for a wild card discussion this evening?
I brought another damn Polish beer called Amber Wheat. I got to read the bottle. I didn't even read it. I just grabbed something different. Amber Wheat. And I will put on my cheap dollar store glasses and read it.
It must be an amber wheat beer, right?
Oh, bless their hearts. It's in Polish, the motherfuckers.
You have like Google Translate on your phone. Maybe you could translate that with that.
I have a feeling they don't want to acclimate to our American culture.
Well, you know what's cool about that? Well, at least you get to go in with an extremely open mind without even hearing what they're.
Well, it has the ingredients and who imported it. I got to give them credit for that.
Okay.
All right, Amber Wheat, 5.2% alcohol by volume. Okay. All right.
Cool.
James, does it have who the manufacturers? Who's the brewer?
Who's the brewer? Let me see. I will tell you. Imported by, of course, Amtech International, New York, Brooklyn, New York.
There you go, Michael.
Let's see. Who was the brewer? Product of Poland. They don't want to tell us the brewer, the bastards.
You know.
Produced and bottled by. Oh, here we go. I'm cursing them out for nothing. Browar, Browr, Amber, Browar in I can't pronounce this shit.
We'll have to let the beer do some more talking.
Poland.
Okay, we got it. Thank you, James.
Yeah. We'll get back to James in his review. So I got two beers I'm going to look at, but the primary one, for some reasoning, I'm making this the primary one. I realized that I could just do trillion beers from my refrigerator for like the next 2 months, and that would get kind of boring. And since I don't really have regular old ass lager beers or domestic style adjunct lagers, I bought an 18-pack on the way home from work of plain old Rolling Rock Pale
Good
Ale.
choice. I like some Rolling Rock.
Oh, extra pale, not pale ale. It was $10.99 for this 18-pack, so it's not the cheapest, but it's like definitely in the top 3 of the cheapest beers at that store I went to.
Wow,
that's a pretty good deal.
And these are, they say it can be from any one of these places. So the Pro Brewing Company, which I assume is all the Anheuser-Busch locations in which they brew it, could be any one of the following: Fairfield or Los Angeles, California, Fort Collins, Colorado, Jacksonville, Florida, Cartersville, Georgia, St. Louis, Missouri. My area where they probably brew this: Merrimack, New Hampshire, Newark, New Jersey, Baldwinsville, New York, Columbus, Ohio, Houston, Texas, Williamsburg, VA. I assume because of calories, they cannot call this a light beer, but it's 4.4%. So it's got at least the ABV and probably some of the body of a lighter domestic style lager.
Right.
And then I have an interesting pale ale later on from the great state of Rhode Island. Stay tuned for that.
Okay.
Sam Adams glass. So Gary has never had the Samuel Adams New England style IPA, so let's hear from Gary.
Well, I've never had a New England style IPA, period. All right, I poured it. It had a pretty thick white head, but the head's sticking around fairly nice, as you can see. It's already leaving some lacing as the head's going down. I mean, it looks nice, but it is very hazy. I cannot see through it whatsoever. To be honest, it looks like a very dirty, hazy Sunny D. That's really what it looks like.
Yeah.
I gave it a slight sideways pour, and then I gave it a straight in pour. I did like a hybrid pour, and it's got a very unique aroma. It's a very bold aroma, very floral. I could definitely detect lots of citrus. Like some lemons, some oranges, a little bit of pineapple. Yeah, I could definitely detect grapefruit. You can also smell a little bit of malt. The malt is there, but it's subdued. A little bit of a yeastiness, like a sweet Hawaiian roll, yeasty breadiness. So it's interesting to taste.
Cheers, my man.
Cheers. All right. So with this one, it's a little different as compared to other IPAs I've had. I could definitely tell more of a difference in this style than I can any other IPA, that's for sure. Right off the bat, there's a lot of citrus. It's like a very juicy, almost like creamy citrusy. It's a little odd, a little weird, but interesting. With that citrus, it's more like lemons and oranges. Yeah, you can taste a little pineapple, little grapefruit, but it's very subdued. And then you get a little bit of maltiness towards the middle. It blends in most with the hops. It balances out the hops, so it's not like overly bitter. And then the yeast presents itself at the end, and it's like a sweet Hawaiian roll, yeasty breadiness. It's definitely an interesting IPA, to say the least. Mouthfeel is light to medium with a light to medium body, and it does finish pretty good. The drinkability is pretty high. It leaves a kind of a piney, earthy aftertaste, but it's very mild. So overall, I would be more partial and more favorable towards the New England IPA just because, I mean, I could tell more of a difference and more of a distinction, but it's still my least favorite style. So if I were to grab an IPA, I'd probably grab this or the Voodoo Ranger Imperial IPA. So my score, I'd give it a 91. I'd give it an A-, lower end of excellent.
Okay. All right.
So I guess my opinion of IPAs have changed. New England is different, but only just different enough to where it does stand out just a little bit more as compared to the others. But that is just coming from me. Take it with a grain of salt, though.
Sure. 91. We got that in the books for Michael Komarov in the beer reviewing journal.
All entered.
All right, sweet. Without further ado, we shall go a little bit south of Gary Owens to Georgia with John Anile.
All right. Well, so the winter lager, never had it before. Surprisingly, as long as it's been around, I never had it. I gave it a pour. I've had a few sips. It's kind of like it's a dark.
Telephone.
It's a dark. I don't know. It's very clear. It's kind of like in between brown and amber, because if you hold it up to the light, there's a lot of red hue coming through, and the lighting in my room right now is very poor. But it's kind of got like a reddish hue to it. This beer it's a lager brewed with orange peel, cinnamon, and ginger. It's 5.6% alcohol, and it's 22 IBUs. So on the aroma, it's very malt forward. You're getting a lot of like roasted barley malt. I'm not picking up on any of the cinnamon or orange peel. I think I'm picking up a little bit on the ginger, but I've already had a sip, so I know there's ginger on the taste. So cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Enjoy.
Okay. So yeah, definitely follows through. Very malt forward. It's got a lot of sweetness to it. It's a good darker beer. I'm kind of like if they didn't put on the label brewed with orange peel, cinnamon, and ginger, I probably wouldn't have even thought about that. It's definitely very mild in the spice department. But you can tell it's spice, but it's not enough to really be able to distinguish between the cinnamon, ginger, orange peel that they're putting in here. I had a beer earlier today, a stout, cinnamon roll stout that had a lot of cinnamon in there. You could definitely tell it was a cinnamon forward beer. This one, honestly, I don't taste any cinnamon with it. The beer overall, my first impressions are that it's a good beer. It's got some nice roasted barley malt complexity. There's a little bit of a hop bite on the finish to kind of balance it out, but it's definitely malt forward. And I'm going to continue to sip on it and see how it develops, since this is my first time having it. And I'll give a review, a rating later after we go through the panel. But my first impressions are that it's a good beer.
Excellent. Sounds good. We'll come back, as John Anile alluded, we'll come back to him for his final thoughts and grades. We have Craig Swenson that is chatting with us live. He is drinking he's had a couple of Hoppy Pride Hazy IPAs from Shipyard, and now he is back into the Genesee Cream Ales as usual. And he said that the Hoppy Pride Hazy IPA from Shipyard was $10.99 for a 4-pack. And we have 8 live viewers right now, so thank you all for stopping by and joining us. And before we get to Michael Komarov, we have Jean H. Pierre, the TV Rambler, live on YouTube.
How are you? Can y'all hear me pretty good?
Hi,
Yeah,
Jean.
we can hear you.
You guys hear me pretty good tonight?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
I had to go to the chamber, so I wouldn't have to hear anything. No distractions tonight. So
Chamber of Solitude.
Which beer did you bring to the chamber this evening?
yes, there's no echo, right?
No,
No.
it sounds good.
Not that I hear.
Drinking tonight, something, of course, we all know. We've had this before. Yuengling traditional lager. Nothing special about it. One of the from the oldest brewery, and
in America.
And that's really nothing more than really needs to be said about Yuengling. I guess we
What's
all
the
have reviewed
alcohol
it. We all
content,
know what it's
John?
about. So
You have the
on to the next
alcohol
person.
by volume of that beer.
Was that again?
The ABV of Yuengling is what?
I think it's 4.5, if I'm correct. I believe it's 4.5. And someone, if I'm incorrect, please somebody correct me and let me know. So,
Excellent.
yeah, like I said, folks, I'm just here just to hang out and just talk. You know, just throw my, whatever info or whatever tidbit I can throw in. So, on to the next person.
Cool. And that will be Michael Kormaroff.
Okay, well, here is the Sierra Nevada Winter Warmer. It's a dark brown color with red hues. If you look through the light, let me get you the nose. Very malty, kind of sweet with kind of fruity, toasted kind of smell. I'll give it a sip. The taste follows the nose. It's like very bready and toasty. The malt is coming through, certainly a malt forward beer, but very pleasing and very drinkable. Let me see if I can read something else. There's kind of like a mild hop bitterness underneath, but it's not in the front. I didn't mention it, 6.7 ABV and 29 international bitter units. So you can taste a little bit of hop bitterness, but it's more in the background. I'm enjoying this though; it's quite good.
Michael, can you hold? I'm sorry. Can you hold up the can or the bottle that you had? So I can...
Sure.
That's a nice looking color for the beer.
Oh yeah, okay. So this here, I haven't seen that one yet, Michael.
Now,
I hope
it's funny. Gary saw it in a 12-pack, the same one I got. It has 3 of these, 3 of the coffee stouts, 3 of the pale ales, and 3 of something called Holiday Haze, which is another one of the Sierra Nevada hazy beers. They have the other one that we tried. There's another hazy beer. So it comes in a 12-pack. Maybe if you look in your Kroger's, they might have it.
I tried.
Yeah, hopefully soon. I haven't seen it yet, but that sounds like a heck of a variety pack right there.
It's very good.
I tried that Sierra Nevada hazy. I thought it was so-so.
Okay.
What else is going on with the Sierra Nevada beer there, Michael Kormaroff?
Well, I'm letting it warm a little bit. As of right now, I'm very pleased with it. I'm enjoying it. Very drinkable.
We will come back.
I'll give you a rating later.
Yeah, we'll come back to you for your final thoughts if the beer's changed, done anything, and we'll wrap up then. But now we got Progressive Discussions. James P. Madonna and his Polish amber wheat review.
Aside from unfiltered amber wheat, it really doesn't say anything else except for the fact that this shaving cream type of head is not dissipating. Every time I pour it, it just hangs in there, and I'm going to drink it for the first time.
Cheers.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
What's the ABV?
5.2.
5.2. Okay.
5.2. It has like a citrusy type of flavor, and it's well balanced. It's a typical refreshing wheat beer. It kind of reminds me of Blue Moon, which I believe is a wheat beer also. But it's not bad. It'll be great during hot weather, and there you could see unfiltered wheat beer. It's a nice. I guess citricy orange color to it, and I'm very impressed with the fact that the head is not fizzling out like many other beers, and I like the cloudiness of it, the density, and I definitely get it again. I mean,
same with mine. I mean, the head of mine's sticking around pretty good. It's leaving pretty good amount of lacing.
It has a really unique flavor to it. I mean, the whole concept of wheat beer, you know, when I first heard about it, I was reluctant to try it, but this is actually better than Blue Moon, to be honest with you. And this head is really hanging in there. I like the fact that it's unfiltered. It's like eating organic raw honey. You know, as you can see, it's. Huh. I could see the effervescence, but you know, only if I look close. But I like it. I like it. I'll give it a. Let's see. Among wheat beers, I'll give it a 95.
Wow, that's a good rating.
Among wheat beers.
Among the best of wheat beers, huh?
Yeah, it's definitely better than that other. Not the first Polish lager, but the one from last week.
Mm.
Yeah, that one was like drinking a regular Corona or Tecate. You know, that was. I like the dense, heavy duty stuff and it, a craggly head and everything. So that's about all. It doesn't really say anything else on here but what I just mentioned.
Wheat beers, guys, are more popular during the summer, right? Than any time of year, say, than spring, winter, fall, I guess.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, it has a refreshing effect to it, you know. I mean, you have to be. You would have to eat spicy food or be very thirsty for it to have a magnified pleasure.
Yes.
Magnified pleasure.
We have Bart Robinson that just tuned in live. He says, "Hey guys, just turning in, eating my usual late dinner and warming up with a Steel Reserve Triple Export."
Oh
Yes.
Yeah,
Love triple export.
Bart Robinson. Ooh.
Just tuning in, you mean? You said turning in. All right, I'm ready.
Yeah.
All right, go, Ron, go.
Let's hear from Louisiana Beer Reviews.
Bart says, yeah, it's a bit rough, Jay, but I'll sleep well. Ha ha. All right. Okay, here I'm pouring some more of it. The rest of this pint can. I got this 4-pack. I was supposed to do a video taste challenge between Hurricane High Gravity and Abita Andigator, but the video came out too foggy. It was so humid the other day that it looked like it was in fog. It was actually fog in the house. Now, so I didn't like the way it came out, and I deleted it. But I mean, it was no challenge because you could tell Abita Andigator from this. It was like.
And what you drinking, Jay, tonight?
It was a tie. This is the Hurricane High Gravity from Anheuser-Busch, and it was introduced in 2005 as 8.1% alcohol. It had a thicker head when I first poured it. It's golden. It's bubbly. It's clear.
Any orange hue to it? So I find it has like a deep gold and like a pumpkin orange hue.
It might, if the light hits it a certain way. I used to notice that back in 2005 when I first started drinking it. Yeah, you're right, Jean. It's an adjunct Helle Stoppelbach. Adjunct because they use those filler ingredients. I'm going to go to tap into your beer in a moment. So the aroma is used to sell it for $3.99 a 12-pack in 2005 before Hurricane Katrina. Anyway, it's bready. It's cereal grain, which would make total sense. A little yeasty on the nose. Let's see, Hurricane High Growth. There might be a slight lemon note. I don't know, but I think there is, and those bubbles are racing to the top. It's a big race. All right, taste. Some places I can get this in 40-ounce bottles. Not around here, but some places in Louisiana. The ingredients are water, corn, rice, and/or dextrose syrup. Sounds delicious. Barley malt and hop extract. 185 calories. So if you're trying to fatten yourself up, this will be an avenue to achieve that goal. See the
liquid bread.
Liquid bread, yes.
Now the taste of this Helles Doppelbock. Helles meaning bright. Doppel, double, goat beer. So in German, it would be bright double goat beer.
Mm.
It'll go great with fried chicken out of the grease.
Craig Swenson says, magnified pleasure. That's the quote of the day.
Yeah. And it's a goat beer. They call it a goat beer because a goat will kick you. Now,
or a hobo if he drinks too much.
And guess who I was talking to off a few minutes ago? Dr. Dave.
Dr. Dave.
Yeah.
So,
how's he doing? I haven't seen him in a while.
Said he's doing all right, but the trolls and haters are following him over to the other platforms. All right.
The red rooster.
That they still love him a long time. Anyway,
Magnified pleasure.
Magnified pleasure.
Back to Hurricane High Gravity.
What are you wearing, Jay? It looks like one of those puffy Cuban shirts. You know, the Babalu, Ricky Ricardo. What do you got on?
It's a pullover.
Oh, a pullover.
Ricky Ricardo.
A hoodie. I'm gonna go walk in Florida and hope.
See, I'm home. Where's little Ricky?
Sometimes I
got some experience to do.
Sometimes I lurk around convenience stores wearing a hoodie and then get offended when people think I'm up to something. All right. Anyway, but the flavor is bready. It's yeasty. If you're looking for hop action, you better look somewhere else.
6 point.
There are hop. The hop extract is used to give it enough bitterness to balance the sweetness that's coming from the heavy corn syrup and grain that's used for the fermentation purposes to get that 8.1 that higher gravity. The mouthfeel is trending toward heavy, prickly with carbonation.
And carbonation, you said.
A lot of carbonation.
Yeah.
It has a crisp finish, and believe it or not, I used to say, and I might say it in the future,
Living that
I
day.
used to say this beer is too chewy. I stopped drinking it around 2006 because it says it's too chewy. It's got too much body. It's like eating a beer. Yeah, it's eating it more than drinking it. But now I have to reassess it. I have to reevaluate it. It has a lot of character. This might be one of the best beers that Anheuser-Busch makes, and they say it's a high-end malt liquor. High-end malt liquor, and it was $3.71 for the 4-pack of pint cans. And I will have to give it. I will have to give it an A-.
Wow.
It's going into the about 90, 91 range. Is it flawless? No, it's not flawless. If it was flawless, it would be a 100. But by golly, for $3.71 plus tax, it's a real winner. And I'm gonna go with that.
Hey Jay, quick question. I'd say quick question. If there was a challenge, or maybe you were serving this at a bar, I mean, would people tell the difference between this one and Andy Gator?
Yes, because the Andy Gator is a much higher international bitterness units. It's a much stronger hop note. So instantly, as soon as you taste it, you say, that's Andy Gator, that's the Hurricane. And the Andy Gator is all malt, no corn or rice adjunct. So, the corn or rice sort of softens the flavor. So the Andy Gator is, I'm not going to say the Andy Gator is better. It's just different.
Different, yeah.
Okay. What would you bring? What would you bring to a dinner party?
Hold on. Andy Gator is 8%. This is 8.1. So you're going to get the same bold effect, if you want to use that term. What would you ask me?
I said, what would you bring to a dinner party? This or Andy Gator?
Andy Gator.
Annabelle Gator?
It depends. Hey, it depends what dinner party.
like a cheeseburger and French fry and hot dog cookout.
Peanut butter and jelly lunch, Hurricane High Gravity Mode.
It would depend. It would depend. I mean,
Grilled peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah, it would just depend on where I was going. I mean,
The good side of town or the bad side of town, I guess.
Not even that. Not even so much the good side of town or the bad side, but more like the uptight people versus the open-minded, laid-back people.
Right.
Yes.
Uptight. I mean, if we were having a cookout with like burgers and fries and some hot dogs or something like that, and you brought Hurricane, I'd say sure. I'd get down with it.
I'm down. I'm down too.
And I would say it's a little too much liquid bread for me. I'd rather have a lighter beer just because I'm eating burgers and fries. To me, this is a drink that's a meal in some ways. So
I think it goes well with like spicy Chinese food.
yeah, like some kung pao chicken.
Sichuan or Hunan style, yes.
Yeah.
Chengdu, China.
It's a great companion during NFL Sundays. I will say that.
Yeah, it's a beer, John. It's a beer that
team loses.
It's a beer that drinks like a meal.
So, all right. Well, you said A-. That's a pretty good rating.
Well, remember, didn't the bros give it a high score when they were doing reviews on Beer Advocate?
Yes.
Yeah. Let me go grab my other beer. I'll be right back.
Okay. And while you're doing that, Gary, I'm going to get into there's the chat. I'm going to get into another classic beer brand here. I do have another more crafty, much more craftier beer a little bit later here, but again, I bring plain old ordinary Rolling Rock I keep saying pale ale. Extra
Love it.
Pale.
Love Rolling Rock.
Extra pale lager from 1939.
Yeah.
From the hometown of Arnold Palmer, ex-great golfer.
Latrobe,
Pennsylvania.
Wow.
And it is, like I said earlier, this is a 4.4% alcohol by volume beer. This was a $10.99 18-pack for the 12-ounce cans. It's got 130 calories, which I assume is the only reasoning this is not called light beer. 9.8 grams of carbohydrates, so again, not light in its caloric or carbohydrate content. And it does have 1.3 grams of protein, but yeah, go to Gary Owens and his barbecue with those hamburgers and french fries to get your protein.
Eric, they used to make a light beer from Rolling Rock called Rock Light.
I do remember that. That was like early on before I became 21. Yeah.
Yeah, and they used to make a red beer called Rolling Rock Amber. Rolling Rock.
They still make that. I mean, it's been a while, but I thought I saw a video not too long ago where you seen that had the beer.
I think it's dead, but you know how these beer companies are. They produce beers that they don't acknowledge on their website.
Right. And this has tapintoyourbeer.com for Anheuser-Busch beer anything. Ingredients and nutritional facts wise. This has water, barley malt, corn, rice, and or dextrose syrup. I'm gonna tend in the flavor here in a second to get more dextrose syrup in the flavor here. Hop extract, hops, and malt extract. I won't really read the can here, but the website here quickly says Rolling Rock is a premium extra pale lager with a unique and flavorful malt character that lends to its distinctive taste and subtle hop finish. There's quite a bit of mystique surrounding the 33 on the Rolling Rock bottle. Okay, whatever. So this is what I have left of a 12-ounce can while I was listening to all of you folks here in the Boston Lager glass. It did have somewhat of a head, but in these style of lager beers, they don't really last very long. Extra pale is no joke. Look at that.
Right.
In the etching of the glass, you do get some nice carbonation. It is sort of dying off a little bit, the carbonation. Kind of looks like flies floating around.
Yeah. Oh, and I've returned with my second beer.
Excellent.
Oh, and I didn't give any information about the Sam Adams New England IPA. That's one thing I forgot, and I had it pulled up here on the website, and I completely forgot all about it. All right.
Well, after Eric is finished, you may have to present them.
You'll be right in line, buddy, old pal. This doesn't really, I mean, I'm guessing that the smell is that dextrose syrup. There's really faint, there is the white bready malts and some sweet malts in there as well. A little bit of that wet, papery, grassy, kind of a grainy note to it. But all of it is a really light aroma. It's not a hugely adjunct heavy cooked vegetal. It's not that kind of a note to it, so that's preferable. And it just stereotypical light lager aroma. So cheers. Rolling Rock.
Cheers.
Cheers, Eric.
There you go. And that's kind of initially what I'm getting from it is I'm getting to, well, actually at the end of the beer is when it really starts to get thin and watery. But initially it does have the heft of almost like a Miller High Life or something along those lines. I'm getting a pronounced sweetness from the malts and from it tastes like a dextrose syrup because there's a little bit, just a little bit of that dextrose syrupy slickness to it, but not a whole bunch. Just minimally bitter to round out some of that sweetness at the end. Again, it starts, I would say, like on the high light side to medium, and then it gets pretty thin and light and watery at the finish. There's nothing really bad about this beer. However, you can distinctively tell that there is an adjunct. It's not the cleanest. It's an extremely clean beer. Don't get me wrong, but it does not finish so clean that you can't tell that there is an adjunct kind of a sweetness being created or having that kind of a grainy texture from the beer, even though it is as light as it is. I mean, this is pretty good beer for $10.99. I cannot complain about that.
Oh, yeah.
However, I think knowing what I know and knowing the beers that I bought in the past, that you get a 15-pack with, it was like $8.49, I guess it was, for natural ice. That to me is actually a way more enjoyable beer at a slightly cheaper price. It's got more body and malt and complexion to it than the Rolling Rock. So if you're really looking for a really it's sort of a full flavored beer for the style with higher nutritional fact stats to it, but with the light lager body and ABV, Rolling Rock may be the one for you. But I don't really think personally that there's any one thing that would make me want to go towards Rolling Rock than a different Anheuser-Busch, Miller, or a Coors Light product, or even Canadian-style Pilsner beers, except for its price point at $10.99 where I got it for an 18-pack. So price alone is like is a high B+ for that category. But overall, if I had to rate this, if I'm going to rate this beer like I do, if Michael Komarov wrote down a 74 out of 100, I think that would be perfectly legitimate for Rolling Rock.
And
So,
74 C minus.
That would be, I would call that a straight up C in my rating system.
That'd be like middle C.
I agree with that. Just a C.
It's an average beer. I can't fault it. I certainly, there's nothing that requires, there's nothing that would allow me to rate it any lower than that. Average beer. This is one of the kings of average beer. So I'm going to shut up now and go back to Gary Owens for another beer he has.
All right. Well, I forgot to get information about the St. Adams New England IPA. I had it pulled up on the website. I actually forgot all about it. All right. So it's 6.8% ABV, but 5.4% by weight. It's 35 IBUs. It didn't really come across as 35. It came across just a tad bit higher. It came across more like 40, similar to like the Lagunitas IPA, somewhere in that area. It was very mild, I found. But anyway, here's what it says for the malt varieties. It uses Sam Adams 2-row pale malt, white wheat, and golden naked oats for the malts.
Golden naked oats.
Golden naked.
Yeah, they're naked. Yeah, like I want oats that are brewed with blue jeans and a t-shirt on them. Okay, good to know. Like, I want to taste an old sweaty pair of jeans and T-shirt in my beer. But thanks for letting me know that, Sam Adams. Good, useful information.
That probably means they have no grain husk on them.
If you want to taste a sweaty old beer, I bet you need to go and find a can of AC/DC's Rock or Bust lager.
Right. I know that, Jay. I was just being pedantic. All right, now for the hop varieties. Galaxy, Simcoe, Mosaic, Citra, and Cascade.
Holy crap. Yeah, buddy. That sounds good.
All right. I mean, my overall impression, I still stick with a 91. The beer does change just a little bit as it warms. You get a little more of a piney, earthy hop bitterness, but other than that, the overall presentation and character of the beer stays the same throughout. All right, so now my second beer of choice for the night. This is a local brew again from Studio Brew. This is their Caribbean IPA Mosaic Sunset IPA. 7.5% ABV and 55 IBUs. And here's what it says about it. Rich aromatic malt combined with agave nectar, adding mosaic hops for an awesome experience of aroma and taste. Visit our website. Well, I pulled up some information here on the website, and here's what it says on the website. Big, bold, malty flavor with roasted blue agave nectar. Mosaic hops bring alive a tropical experience of grapefruit and tangerine citrus flavors with medium bitterness. This is a party in every glass. This craft beer will take you to the islands, mon.
Oh, yeah.
Close your eyes and you'll hear the ocean waves and steel drums in the background. I just might have to try that. So if I don't feel that, will it be grounds for a lawsuit? Nah, I probably wouldn't do that. I'm too lazy. Not over something like that. Pairing suggestions: beach parties on the lake or the ocean, roasted and grilled seafood and veggies, spicy foods with Pamela's key lime poppers, light cigars, and anejo tequila with a twist of tangerine. Perfect with sunset and great friends. Enjoy, my friends, and if you drift away, take your beer with you. Cheers. Well, on the bottle, it just says Caribbean IPA. On the website, it says Caribbean Imperial IPA, which I kind of more agree with that at 7.5%.
It definitely sounds like quite a monstrously awesome beer there.
It does. I mean, let's hope it's actually true and not just a bunch of gimmicks for advertising, because you got to admit, that was kind of catchy advertising on the website. All right, so let's give her a pour.
All right.
Oh, this one's a much darker IPA.
Definitely.
That looks nice.
I have a New England style pale ale I'll get to in a second, but there's your color differential from something
that
looks like
an orange. That looks like an orange Julius.
Really?
All right. So with this one, as you can tell, this one is definitely much darker. It's clear. It's like a hazy brownish copper, like a brownish dirty copper color. And the head is it's slightly off-white, like bone or eggshell, I would say. It's not quite like ivory or anything like that. Yeah, much darker IPA than the other one. I mean, it looks different. It even looks different from other ones I've had before. So let's go with the aroma. Oh yeah. If you do not like citrus, or you don't like the smell of any kind of citrus flavor in your IPA, this would make you just want to go away, because this smells so tropical it's not even funny. You definitely smell lemons and oranges. Lots of pineapple. A little bit of grapefruit. And it's got like a nectar sweetness. But it's like I'm trying to think. It's not really like a white or a yellow nectar. It's I really can't describe that sweetness. It's like a nectary sweet. Like if you were just in like a field of nectar, it would just be that kind of generalized aroma. There is a little bit of a maltiness to it. You can detect some sweetness besides the nectary sweetness. And same thing, sweet Hawaiian roll, yeasty breadiness. But it's got a slight toastiness in the aroma. Like you tell like they roasted the barley malt just a tad. Almost like caramel. It's a little peculiar, a little odd, a little different, but okay. So let's go with the taste.
Cheers. Once again.
Cheers. All right.
Sounds like a chewy beer.
All right. Now with this one, it is much different from the New England IPA. A lot different.
All right.
It's got a strong citry, a very strong citrus note up front, but it quickly dissipates from like lemons and oranges to like pineapple, straight up pineapple. But like grilled pineapple, as if you threw some pineapple on the grill and grilled it and charred it a little bit.
That's actually quite good.
Interesting sounding beer there.
And then you get a little bit of a piney earthiness at the end of the front of the taste. And then in the middle, that's when the malt kicks in. It kind of balances out with some sweetness, and you taste a little bit of that little nectary sweetness in the middle with the malts. You have to really be paying attention because you almost really can't discern it. You have to really be paying attention. You can tell there's this difference in it, but it's like almost so minute you really can't tell the difference. And then in the end, that's when that nice yeastiness kicks in. Like same thing with that other one, like a sweet Hawaiian roll. It's like they dipped some sweet Hawaiian rolls in it just to give it a little bit of a breadiness. And then as it dissipates off your palate, that's when you taste more of a a toasted malt character, like a toasted pineapple character, and you get a little more of the earthy pininess. It's quite interesting. But the drinkability is pretty high, I think. The 55 IBUs, maybe as it warms, that might come out more. But right now, it's sitting at more like 35, 40 IBUs. And the body is medium with a medium mouthfeel. So my impression of this one, it's different, it's creative, and they've done it right. So I'd give it a 95 just because it's excellent and it's creative, and the creativity, they just did so well with it.
Wow.
So if you can find this in your area, pick it up. I mean, I don't know what the distribution of Studio Brewing out of Bristol, Virginia is, but I'd say if you came down here and you were in the Tri-Cities area, you could probably find it. Or go to the Tap House in Bristol, Virginia and get it on tap. That'll be something I'll do one day. Go to their tap house, try a sample of all their beers on tap, and see what I think.
Do that on a NASCAR race day. That's something that'll be a good, fun old time.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with the 95 overall in style score just because it's excellent, it's creative, and it's different, and they did it right.
Excellent. We have I shouldn't say a newcomer. We have Gabriel Celaya.
Hey, Gabe!
Just several minutes while
Gabe?
Barry was talking. What's up? We got to hear Gabriel. This. All right, we got to hear your beer review. I think you brought this left-hand milk stout nitro, Gabriel. You want to?
Oh yeah, that's about to try list.
Tell us about those beers and Guinness Draft. Whoa. Oh, he's got both. Oh, that little devil there. All right. So if you want to unmute yourself, Gabriel, and start talking about your stouts, that would be awesome.
2 beers for 1.
Yeah, I like it. So do it however you want to talk about the beers.
This one's Guinness, 12-ounce bottle.
Okay.
This one has carbonation and bubbles on the glass.
Oh, yeah, I see that.
And the milk stout left hand has no bubbles.
How do each of them smell? Do they compare in the smells, or are they different?
I mean, different.
Makes me feel happy.
The left hand has more of a smell.
Excellent. What kind
Like
of
a
smell
roasty.
do you get? What do you notice in the beer?
But the left hand is like more creamy and beige color.
I have being a milk stout, I'd be more creamy.
And the Guinness,
Creamy.
a little bit of creaminess.
Give us a taste of your stouts and let us know what they are like. Cheers to Gabriel Solaya, live from the Phoenix,
Cheers.
Arizona area.
Cheers.
This one's left hand milk stout is more bitterness.
Ooh.
Maybe like coffee bitterness.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any chocolatey notes?
Maybe.
Okay. How's the Guinness treating you?
Excellent.
All right. What do you notice about the taste of Guinness?
That's dry.
Much drier finish
Okay.
on the Guinness.
Yep. I'll agree with that.
Left Guinness doesn't know what the right Guinness is doing.
You did have that on the website.
No chocolate or no coffee
Okay.
on Guinness.
What kind of a mouthfeel are you getting from those beers? What's the Guinness mouthfeel like?
It's 4.1.
And how does,
Or
how does it
4.2, I think.
how does it feel in the mouth?
Jenna Jameson said.
Not heavy.
Okay.
Medium.
And how does the left-hand milk stout compare to the Guinness in the mouthfeel?
Like more medium bodied.
Jay is texting away and we can hear it. That's why I muted Jay. Sorry, Jay.
Who's he calling?
Ghostbusters. Anyways.
This one.
Back to your stout reviews.
This one's 6% alcohol.
Okay, so a little bit more heft. Do you have you formulated an opinion as to what your rating is for either of the beers? Do you have an opinion on which one you like more than the other?
Right, yes.
And what are your thoughts? Give us your thoughts on these beers, Gabriel. Whatever comes to your mind.
This one's Guinness. And it's like almost a white foam on top.
Do you like Guinness better than the left-hand milk stout?
Well, it's less bitterness on Guinness.
So if you had to give a number or letter rating for the Guinness draft, what would you rate it?
I'm not rating it. Maybe 85.
85 out of 100 for Guinness draft, Michael Komarov.
Yes.
How about the left-hand milk stout?
Adds more flavor to it.
The
left hand.
And what number rating are you thinking for that one?
I'll say 90.
90.
Okay, B plus.
Excellent.
No, A minus.
I would say A minus. Yeah.
I mean, if you're using the 10-point college system, a 91 would be an A minus. A 90 would be a B plus.
90 out of 100.
Plain old 90 out of 100. Excellent.
I think.
Those
all right.
are some damn good beers, and I would probably say for most people that like to drink craft beer and like Guinness draft, that stuff almost anywhere you get your normal craft beers. So if any of that sounded interesting and you like stouts and you've never tried those beers, you're living under a rock. Get out of that rock, leave your rock next to Patrick Starr's house and Go get that. Go get those beers.
R.I.P. Steven Hillenberg.
The creator of SpongeBob has died. ALS.
Yeah.
7 years of age. That's crazy.
I bring the can.
He did the voices? We just
no, he was the creator of SpongeBob.
Oh, good. Thank God. I don't want to see Mr. Krabby.
Mr. Krabby.
Mr. Krabs, not Krabby.
Well, Eugene Krabs.
Okay. So I have another beer. However, I know that Michael Komaroff also has another beer. So if he is going to enjoy the other beer, I think he'll love to hear from it.
Okay, I'm going to finish on this winter warmer, giving it a 91.
Ooh, well, yes, we did not go back to your rating. That's right.
The sweetness picked up as the beer warmed, and it's not cloying sweetness, though. It's kind of very nice sweetness, and this would be a very good beer in the cooler weather because the malts are definitely the lead element, and it's a very nice beer. Goes down very easily too.
And I still and now you remind me of that. We still have to go back to John Anile for his final rating of the Samuel Adams Winter Warmer.
This beer's been warming up for a while now. It's a good beer. You know, it could be excellent, but the fact that they say right there on the front of the label that it's brewed with orange peel, cinnamon, and ginger, I'm really not getting any of that. It's a good beer with some nice dark roasted barley malt complexity, a nice little sweetness to it, some light chocolate notes, and a good breadiness to it. And of course, it's light, pretty light bodied. It's crisp, clean, and refreshing at 5.6% alcohol. You could drink a few, but for me, it's like an 87 out of 100. It's getting up there towards B+, but it would have been an excellent beer if I was picking up on those flavor notes, but it's just like a standard dark beer.
It sounds like Gabriel Salaya has had
yes, I have.
Sam Adams before, and he seems to
on the winter
on
classic pack.
Gabriel?
Yes, on the winter classic pack. I had two.
Excellent. Now, it was getting a little noisy on Gabriel, but I do want to.
It's good.
I do want to read that. We got Greg Swenson that says Jay Theriault for President 2020, and he says John Anile, VP, Thomas Medal, Secretary of State, James P. Madonna, Surgeon General, Michael Kornmeroff,
President for Beercraft,
Celius, Immigration, John H. Pierre in charge of beer.
And I didn't make the list.
Which doctor? I'll be Dr. Mengele, I'll tell you right now.
President of Craft Beer.
And might I add, your name is Gabe Celius, Immigration.
Yeah, I'm surprised I didn't make the list.
Well, what role do you want in immigration?
Make sure everything's good, like in the store.
You'll be the press secretary. Gotta work in that camera angle, though.
Yeah, I'm just kind of relaxing here in my chair. If I had to just really pick, just make me. I'd probably do better as treasurer because I do pretty good with money.
Yeah, at Treasury Secretary. All right, Gary Owens, good. Okay.
Yeah, I'm good with money.
Excellent. we'll allow it. So I think now Michael Komaroff is gonna show us another.
I have to get it, so mute me again, Eric.
Can I review mines or no? Wait.
No, you're good. You're actually good right now. So I'll get into my final beer of the evening here. We're going a little past an hour, but that's all right. So the parents went to. We have a house on Narragansett Bay in Rhode Island, and they went the last weekend or the weekend before. No, it was last weekend before Thanksgiving. They went to Middleton, Rhode Island, to Newport Vineyards. Apparently, they opened up their own brewery at Newport Vineyards in Middleton, Rhode Island, called Taproot Brewing Company. And if you can't probably read that, I apologize.
TAPPOO.
There it is. It's an unfiltered I'll just read this here. It's an unfiltered pale ale at 5.4% alcohol by volume.
Great.
It is called Mixed
Great.
Precipitation. Mixed precipitation. I'll go into the beer really quickly here. Mixed precipitation. Then we'll go to my coma. Mixed precipitation is definitely a New England style, sort of a hazy beer.
The family has split.
Okay. So here's a nice.
No, I'm still here.
Pale ale. It has a lot of.
I guess Gabriel's part of my beer family.
Almost looks like half of the world, like
Funny.
America, with South America there. There's even Baja California going right down there. Yeah, juicy, hazy, pulpy for days. Let's get a smell on that bad boy. I mean, it's super hazy. Look at that shit. Yeah.
Apple juice. Pineapple.
Yeah, it really does. I guess if somebody wanted to call it that smoothie milkshake IPA, because it smells like it has a little bit of like a lactose milky
Orange, pineapple.
kind of a consistency with oranges and with pineapples and with grapes.
The color to it.
It's definitely, the color is definitely what you think this would smell like. It does. Yeah, very like milky lactic in the note. So again, if you wanted to call it a smoothie or like a milkshakey kind of a smell, sure.
Tropical.
Yeah. So I mean, even light dank notes of the onions and the garlic. So, but that's very light. But it does smell like a pale ale, not an IPA. It's not quite as hop forward, and it's not quite as big in the nose. So, Rhode Island, holy crap! You just like brewed your own treehouse knockoff. Good going, Rhode Island. Cheers.
Cheers. Let me give my score on my beer real quick.
Go ahead.
Again, I'm sorry. Like I said, it's been a long day trying to get my everything together. But anyway, Yuengling, we all know, is one of the oldest breweries. This is their flagship beer, the traditional lager, which I'm sure we all have had previously. Right now, I have complaints with Yuengling from time to time just by their distribution. I know people who live out west can't get their beer, but I guess we're now west of the Mississippi, you say, is Louisiana, and they can get their beer. But right now, I think they're in like 26 states, including the District of Columbia. But that's how the brewery has operated all these years, obviously being family owned. So they kind of have that mindset of, we'll gradually, boom, boom, boom before we expand, which I guess you could respect that. But in any event, the traditional lager, an amber beer style, very good. And if you go to some stores and even some of the grocery stores I've been to over the last maybe 11 years or so, excuse me, when the beer came, the beer arrived here in Alabama in 2009, I believe, 2008, 2009. So about 10 years now it's been here. But if you go to any of the grocery stores anywhere, I don't know how with you guys, but here, you look at the prices, they are probably maybe about $1 or $2 less, versus Budweiser or Coors or any of the premium light beers that you'll go get, Coors Light, Bud Light, whatever. So that's why some folks will lean more towards that than getting, the usual stuff. But overall, like I said, I've always enjoyed this beer. I don't get this a lot, but when I do, depends on the specials that they have at the service station. Sometimes there'll be like 2 cans for $4, 2 25-ounce cans for $4, and I'll end up getting that and enjoy it from time to time. It's good with I just had this just now with some turkey drumsticks and some coleslaw, and they went pretty good. And or you can go with any beef brisket or something like that. It's a good, very enjoyable amber lager, and there's my score, a B+.
Cool.
For traditional lager. So
how about some barbecue? Would you go with like some sweet and tangy barbecue?
Possibly, yes, Gary.
Okay, that's cool.
Possibly. Hey, by the way, Gary, I haven't seen you in a while. Again, I'm sorry I didn't even say good evening. Good evening, my friend. How are you doing?
That's okay.
Been a while. It's been a while.
Gary, our good buddy Craig that put together Jay Terrier's administration did give you a position in the administration, which is you're in charge of deli picks.
belly pics.
because of your strange camera angle looking right at your stomach area. Oh God!
I mean, I'm just relaxing in my chair. I always sit in my chair like this.
All right, come on now, Craig. We love you, Craig. But
I mean, I can't help the way I sit in chairs. I always sit slouched in a chair unless I'm sitting up eating.
Eric, I'm ready anytime unless you want to finish up first.
Back to my beer really fast. We'll get to Mike. We'll try to wrap this up here. So yeah, the taste is exactly the appearance here: mangoes, grapefruit, orange, and pineapple, and it does have all those tropical juicy notes. I'm getting from some of this. I don't know if you can even see some of the sediment that's in there. A little bit of a spicy, white bready yeasty note to it. Definitely there's a oaty, lactic, creamy, almost velvety, smooth sensation to it. I'm definitely getting the oaty kind of a malt or grain complexion to it. So it's providing some smooth, very smooth notes to it. And at
what kind of tropical?
It's pretty dry.
Is that South America tropical fruit?
No, Caribbean usually tropical.
Yeah, but as it dries is where I'm getting even more of the dank quality. So when you get towards the bottom of the can and you get all of that yeast back into the glass, you're getting more of those the hop resin oils of those and those dank tropical kind of fruity notes to it. It's a very medium bodied beer, straight up medium. It's pretty. I guess it's moderately crisp. It's not the most effervescent beer, but it does good for its style.
IPA?
It's very clean and it's refreshing as all hell. This is impressive stuff from Rhode Island. I mean, somehow you're in Rhode Island and you want to come and join me for some effing beers. I would definitely say this is one to try. From the entire state of Rhode Island, this has got to be a top 3 of all-time beers ever from the state of Rhode Island. This is pretty absolutely magical. If somebody wanted to write me down for a 94 out of 100, that's pretty epically good.
Yeah.
It's not quite as abrasive in your face as, say, Trillium, this particular beer, but it is reminding me of the milky, creamy, that kind of a smooth, oaty IPA texture of a treehouse. So Rhode Island, cheers.
Yeah, well, speaking of Rhode Island, if you're going to get a beer from Rhode Island, why don't you get Pawtucket Brewery, a.k.a. Duff Beer in Disguise, according to the Family Guy Simpsons crossover.
A.k.a. knockoff up.
The only thing not magical from Rhode Island would be John Stardamunsky and Red Rooster, by the way.
We gotta get to more positive things here. I see that Michael Komarov has a New Belgium style Pilsner beer he wants to talk about real fast.
Yes, this is the New Belgium Pilsner Bohemian style at 4.8, 16 IBUs. It uses Nugget, Liberty, Saz, Hallertau hops, Pale Pilsner, Carapil, Munich malts, and lager yeast.
There's a lot going on there.
And as you can see from the color, it's more yellow, very clear in my glass, and you have a nice upward bubbles. So there's lots of carbonation going on. Let me give it a smell. You get a lot of the earthy, grassy hops. The taste is crackery, bready, low bitterness. I mean, you can taste the hops a little bit, but it's not very bitter. It seems like a pretty good Bohemian style Pilsner. I like it.
I've had a Bohemian style Pilsner. Another local brewery around here called Yeehaw has a Bohemian style Pilsner, and I thought it was pretty good.
The finish is kind of, smooth and dry.
Summer beer?
And I would give it an 89.
Probably is a summer beer. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
An 89 to me is a B+ on the cusp of being an A-.
Yeah, not
Does it taste like summer?
Does it taste like summer, Michael Komarov?
I guess so. But see, when you have to, Gabriel, when you have to get into the seasonal stuff, it gets a little bit rougher. Because I know there's no such thing as winter in Arizona, so you're not used to the changes that we go through everywhere else. And I shouldn't say everywhere else. There's other warm climates in the country too, but
It's 50 right now.
it does get cold here.
Yeah,
Deep
50.
South Texas is one of them.
50 degrees is like get your parka on stat for Arizona.
Right.
Apparently,
And Gabriel has seen 100 degrees, so he knows what the real heat is.
apparently
115.
He's seen even more action.
the NewportVineyards.com website for that has some information on these taproot beers and on the mixed precipitation I was drinking. All of these, it's from what I understand, it's a pretty brand new operation, so they don't have a whole bunch of information. But for what they say American Pale Ale. Yeah, I should be getting fresh melon, and I noted this when I got the beer, and I didn't say this in the review, but you get fresh melon and mixed berries. The berry thing, now that I'm thinking about it, it absolutely is reminding me of the Mosaic Hop, which the Mosaic Hop, to me, I don't know how I missed that in my review I just did here. The Mosaic Hop, as maybe you'll remember this, Michael. The Mosaic Hop to me has always had a blueberry kind of a note to it.
I'm not detecting that in this like Caribbean Mosaic IPA, not even in the least bit.
I don't know how I missed that, but that is definitely all over the place in this beer as well. So very well-rounded, balanced beer, and I think I'm going to stick with that 94. And I think we all had very well-rounded, balanced, awesome-sounding beers. I think collectively across the board were really good beers tonight. So
Gary is getting more citrus from his Mosaic Hop than you are.
If in fact there is any of the Mosaic was in the Sam Adams IPA, right?
Yeah, Mosaic was one of the hop varieties in that one, yeah.
So what I was saying there was I think John Anelli said he would be right back, but we'll definitely still be on after we stop the broadcast here. But definitely really awesome and interesting sounding beers tonight.
To quote,
Thomas Metal, 2 from Gary, 2 from Michael Komaroff, and as Gabriel Salaya said, 2 for 1 from him. So excellent. So
to quote how the night went. To quote how the night went, awesomely, Thomas Metal 75.
Yep, and apparently we're all in Jay Terriot's 2020 presidential campaign cabinet. So sweet. All right. So
I refuse to be belly picks.
Oh, so on behalf of Gabriel Salaya, on behalf of you, Gary Owens, on behalf of Jean H. Pierre, TV Rambler, on behalf of Michael Komaroff, here we go again. On behalf of James P. Madonna, and from those progressive discussions, Jay Terriot, he left. He was texting madly. I don't know where he went. And John Anelli said he would be back, but on behalf of John Anelli from Georgia, I am Thomas Metal 75.
And I am Gary Owens.
And this is everybody else. And until next time,
have a great evening.
Yeah, cheers. We'll see y'all soon. And as we said earlier, and we said last week, yes, we're going to keep going with our theme of Wildcard Wednesday. So cheers.
Everybody enjoy.
Cheers.
For 10 years.
For 10 years.
Straight.
Been on the air?
Every Wednesday.